All right, good morning, everyone. I'm RG O'Leary. We are here for our December 4th, 2024 Policy Committee meeting. Matt, Barbara, and Frank McCree are with us, or with me. I circulated an agenda. So what I added into the agenda, really for my own purposes, because it'll make it easier for me to report out at the board meeting, is a recap of our November meeting, which was a mere 9-10 days ago. So we're gonna have two meetings before the board meeting on the 9th. And I think we're gonna have a lot ready for that meeting. So we finished the 1120 and the 1120R. Today, I want us to go through the exhibits. There's some differences between what the district has and what NISBA had recommended. We finished we didn't do it ourselves, but can Jess add back the cross references for 5420?
And
5420 is the student health services.
have her do this one.
Yeah, so all we need to do is add back the cross references that I have in there. We took them out. Or actually I think some of these might be new. Trying to remember. Either way, we need to add those references in, and then that's ready for a revision. We're going to make that change to the facilities use policy. I'm going to keep that on the running agenda just to come back to at some point.
Yeah.
And then 8636 is the AI policy, and we didn't receive any feedback really at the board meeting. So I think that one is ready to be adopted at the December meeting.
So let me just go over the December meeting, because I'm going to confirm with Jessica that since we're doing the agenda stuff. So
yeah.
120, 120R will be on.
Correct. And those are revisions.
Yeah. 5420.
Revision.
And we'll add back cross references.
Yep.
The facility use policy revision will be back on. Policy 8636 is ready for adoption. Those are the ones that are up
Currently. Yeah. And then let's see what we can get through today.
I just want to confirm, because that will make it easy that everything's there for the meeting. So I appreciate you doing that.
Yeah. It's really, like I said, selfish for my own purposes, but if it's helpful to others, great. Okay. So what I wanted to get through today, time permitting, the 1120 exhibits, 8630 and the 8630R. I've decided I'm going to make a practice of only reviewing the drafts after Matt does, because Matt puts in all the comments that catch everything I would have
Well,
said.
for the record, that's the end of the road as far as how far I've gotten. So I'm gonna have to block off some time to start again.
No, that's totally fine. Okay, so if we can get through the 8630 and the 8630R, I made a note under D, the naming facilities, student and staff memorials, to discuss at a future board meeting. I think we had put that on our agenda, maybe for the October meeting or
I
the
thought we
November
meant
meeting.
to, but it never made it.
It didn't make it. So we need to do that. So maybe I know December is looking kind of full.
It's looking full already. Yeah.
So maybe that's on
You want that for January?
January, because we did not have that discussion with the full board, and I think we need to before we do any work on that.
I think we just need to, if we could, for the next meeting, talk about what the discussion points should be to help kind of focus in on where the board will need to go. And I think something like, is it something we're going to say no? Because our practice has been we name everything, right? Mm-hmm. And then also our practice is, what about memorials? Do we have a team evaluate it prior to doing it, to taking that social emotional component, and then have that team finally? I think there's some very specific things that we need to get input on, and then just being generic. If that's
no, I think that's fair.
Do we have a current policy on this at all?
No.
No.
And then looking at other districts, there are some districts. Right over there next to the hard hat.
course. Everybody keeps their tissues.
Absolutely. Well, it's things that you need all the time, tissues and hard hats. Yeah, they're all over the board.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, some districts are like not gonna do it.
Yeah.
Others are like, sure.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
And I will tell you, Matt, just anecdotally, I've been in a district where we named something that was already named. No
Oh.
one knew it was already named until after the naming ceremony. So it was like, you learn firsthand, you're like, oh my gosh, here's an issue, right? Because
Yeah.
people
Well,
forget.
and then I recently read a commissioner's decision where a board took a name off of something because of.
Yeah, and it got overturned, right?
It may have been affirmed, but the reason was because as sometimes happens, history,
Yeah.
reveals things and they say, well, we don't
Right.
want that name there anymore.
Yeah, there's a lot to it. So that's good. I
Yeah.
think January is a great point for that.
okay, good. And then, time permitting, student board member, H on the agenda. That should be easy.
Mhm.
I think we just changed senior to student. So maybe we can get through that one too.
We also have to change the criteria a little bit. I can get to it. Like,
okay, all right, good. Okay, so let's jump into the 11-20 exhibits. So here, Voorheesville currently has an E1. And let me go to that in our policy manual. So E1, we call the application for public access to records. NISBA replaces that with an E2. And then their E2 is our E3.
Okay.
So I think what we could do is combine our E1 and E2. Because it doesn't matter really how the request comes in. It can come in through email, it can come in through regular mail, however. Someone can write it on a napkin, it doesn't really matter. So I suggest we start with NISBA's E1 and see if that works for us. So if you go, it's in the policies manual or the policies section of the shared drive.
Last modified September 17, 2024.
It is, yes, that's the one, yep. So, application for public access to records, and it says at the top via mail or email. And then we've got note to the public. Basically saying it's optional. Yep, so my only question is, well, Frank, here we have C. Rivenberg,
she's our FOIL's person.
she's our FOIL person, but do we want a generic email address instead of hers so that we don't
No,
have to update this?
no, we want to keep it because the policy states it'd be the district treasurer. So, and we want to keep it C. Rivenberg for now because then we can just update it as it changes. It just makes life a lot easier because it has to go directly to her
Mhm.
and there's timeframes and components on it. So that way she's always checking C. Rivenberg. So
Yeah,
As
yeah.
opposed to like
as
treasurer.
opposed to treasurer or
Let's say.
something else, I would just rather it go directly to an email of a specific person. So I'd like to keep it that way. Because she is the FOIL request person.
Does anyone else have access to her email?
No, only her.
So like if she's out for a week for vacation,
She checks it.
she does
Yep.
check it?
Yeah.
That raises other concerns.
Yeah, but no,
That is tough. So what happens? I mean, if she leaves for some reason, how would we?
we just change the documents. I'm not comfortable in doing a blanket one for that one.
Mhm. Okay.
Okay, so, yeah, so if she leaves, someone else would have to
Yeah,
have access to
yeah.
her email, which I'm sure we can get.
Okay.
Yeah, it's easy stuff.
Okay. I don't love the way this is just like bracketed. Like those weird brackets, 432 New Salem Road, Voorheesville, New York. I'd rather we say, like, just write that out. You may mail your request or email to. Is
Mhm.
that okay with everybody?
Yeah.
1120-E1. It's the NISBA
Then this the one.
draft.
This is the sample policy, correct? That's. I know, now that you don't have it up on the screen.
I know there's so many of them, and I went to the website quick because our website, I'm gonna have to change a bunch of things on it as well.
How's, other than the 4 I left in the front, how's this look? You may mail your FOIL request to 32 New Salem Road, Voorheesville, New York,
I can,
or email to croddenberg@voorheesville.org.
let me go back. I'm not really think it matters, but I'm not really quite sure I understand this form's language is optional, but you may enhance your use of the Freedom of Information law. You may choose to utilize certain portions.
Facilitate.
Maybe just this form's language is optional, period. You may choose to utilize certain portions that are most applicable to your request. I'm just not really sure what they mean by,
Yeah.
it just seems like flowery language for no reason. You may
Yeah.
enhance your
Yeah, I
use.
agree. I say we delete it.
I like that. That's, yeah, it's much more clear. Clean.
Okay.
I'm still struggling to find where we are.
See?
Why? Yeah.
You
I-
go
Should've
to
done
the-
it up
oh, you have it
there.
organized
Yeah,
differently. I do it
Am
as
I
a
on the wrong
list.
one? That's the big question.
I do it as a list
Yeah.
view. And then it's this one.
Okay. And did we finalize the 120?
Yes,
1120.
or 11.
It doesn't say final anywhere. That's where I'm.
Oh,
Yes.
I did not, maybe we didn't write that on it, but it's final. The NISBA 1120, let me go back to
Because
it.
I don't see it updated for the board meeting.
The NISBA sample policy 1120
Mhm.
is the one, we finalized that. And that one, I believe, we had. Yeah, so this one is the one that we went through last time. So we do need to mark it.
Yeah. I thought
You know
I
what,
sent it to Jess.
Yeah, it does look confusing that, like, we're saying the policy 1120 and 1120 are ready to be amended, but we're in the exhibits.
Yeah, I'm
Of
writing
11:20.
final on it. We should write draft, and for my own purposes, it makes life a lot easier. But I thought Jess
Okay.
fixed these all.
There's a lot in this policy.
Wait, so yeah, it's the one from April. So there's the October 2024 edit.
Yep.
But we cut and paste the language from
Okay,
that.
so it's the, I'm
Updated
sorry,
into the April 2024 one.
April 2024.
NISBA sample policy 1120.
You're on it right now. yeah.
April 2024.
Got it.
Yep, so that one is the one that we worked in last time.
Okay,
and
so that's the right
finalized.
one?
That's the one that should be final.
All right.
And then the NISBA sample policy 1120R April is the one that we finalized in our last meeting as well.
All right.
So those two are fine. Now we're in the 1120 E1 and E2 document. So, yeah, so there was a subsequent October update to this that included some additional language.
The 120 hours. Got it.
11/20.
11/27.
You have a brain block.
I do. But that one's all done. There's no comments on it. We
No,
went
it's
through it all.
just needs cleanup.
Yep.
Like some of the, underlines and new language needs to be cleaned up, but otherwise it's good to go.
Guys keep working. I will be right back. I want to make sure we're taking care of the things.
Okay. All right, so now let's go back to where I was. Okay. So now I think we are at the sample text.
Yeah, I had some thoughts. In terms of maybe number one, because I'm thinking cost. I mean, I know that in personal experience and just generally, I think a paper production is becoming so much rarer.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's not an impossibility. So I don't know if one should say something like, please provide the following records if possible. And then maybe a note that says,
I think we cover this in the policy.
is it in the policy?
I think we say that, that we will deliver by email if,
Okay,
let me look.
I also have a question
so
about,
that's good.
like number two about advising for the appropriate time. Like, is that part of FOIL normally that a person comes in physically and physically inspects the records? Or I mean, my understanding of FOIL, at least for the last however many years, is that you make the request and the records are sent to you, not that you need to come and
You
physically.
can request to inspect, but that is,
Do you think that's-
it may not be granted if like the records contain information that could be withheld.
Mhm.
So, you know what, it might
But
be
is
in
there,
the
I mean,
reg.
yeah, is there ever a chance that you would be welcome to the school to physically inspect a record, but it couldn't be sent to you? I mean, isn't that the whole idea that you'll get a copy?
So the way, sometimes the inspect comes up where it's like, I may not want to be charged for everything. So let me come in and I'll kind of pick and choose the ones that I want, and then you produce them to me.
Oh, okay.
So that
makes sense.
sometimes gets invoked that way.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's most of the time you make the request, the district or anyone will then identify to you the records that are responsive, provide those, identify what's been withheld, at least how many pages have been withheld.
Okay.
Not the specific documents. And then apply any appropriate redactions.
Understood. Okay. That's very clear.
I spent way too much time on FOIL in a prior life.
Mhm.
Okay, so maybe it's in the reg map because it's not in the
It's not.
policy.
1120R.
Wait, this 1120R does not look final to me. Frank,
Yes,
this 1120R
Yep.
does not look final. to
it's
me.
not. She has, I don't know where Jess, can you send the final 1120R to us, please? The ones that you did? I don't know where they are. The ones that she has.
Yeah, because the one I'm looking at is the original
Yeah,
one.
she has updated ones.
Okay, all right, so.
Yeah.
We're trying to figure out where it says that there's a preference to deliver
Okay.
records by email.
Right, yeah. The ones that you She'll send them. I'll put them up on there.
Okay, good.
Looks like it's the NISBA sample regulation 1120R, which was last,
The April one.
yeah, modified today.
Yeah, I didn't see an October reg update. I think it was just the policy.
Yeah, something funky happened. I'm not sure exactly what it was.
It's it's not in here. I know it's, I mean, I guess if someone wants them by email, usually there's no charge.
There's no charge. I thought you put that in
Yeah,
there.
it is in there.
It is in there. I remember having that
Um,
specific conversation.
But if someone wanted them printed, I mean,
There's a
you
charge.
print them and then just issue an invoice.
Mhm.
So when have you issued an invoice and has it not been paid? Because that has happened.
We've never had that.
Usually, I've seen some agencies require payment before they
Yeah.
send it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, or,
Yeah,
yeah.
we've never had an issue.
Yeah, some, I could tell you do not.
No, Division of Human Rights is, they'll take years to respond, and when they do, they want their money first.
Okay, so, all right, so it does not appear that we have any preference for, like, we'll leave it to the requester to request email or printing. But I agree with you, Matt. We can just say, please provide the
Yeah,
following records.
Yeah.
And then the requester can specify how they would like to receive the records.
I think that would be down below on the line that right now just says address, so maybe it could say email address.
Yep.
Or post.
Okay, so one is please provide the following records if possible. I don't know if possible. That's the whole point of FOIL is the FOIL. The records access officer is going to tell you if it's possible.
Right. I think it just, if you're reading this though, as a person who's never done it before, and like, I think that introduces the idea that, you
get
might not have access to some things because you're
Right.
asking for something that is not available to you.
Okay,
And that's fair, I think. And number 4, I think when we get down to it, probably addresses my concern about the
Mhm.
email and the cost. So,
And 5 talks about like request for records that cannot.
right.
Although 5 just sounds like it's more like the volume. It's like that paragraph right before your name and address where it's like, if access is like, if your request is denied.
Yeah.
I don't mind the if possible staying in.
okay. I'll leave it.
Okay.
I think we,
By the way, if you go to final 12.4, policy 1120, on our drive, that's the one that's up for the board.
okay,
All right.
All right, good.
I don't
Thank
know
you.
what happened or how, like,
And the reg too?
yeah, it's all together.
That's what I thought. I thought
Yeah,
it was
it's
all in
all
one
together.
document.
It's all one
Okay.
document.
All right.
Jess has it. She did it all. I don't know what happened with the labeling and how that'll work, but one document, it's all together.
Okay, good. All right. So
Thank you, Jess.
thank you,
Yeah.
Jess. I think at the bottom, we just add name, then add a space for email. And then address if records are to be mailed. Does
Yeah.
that work?
Mhm.
I'm not sure on this with Jessica, right?
We need more space here.
To me, it almost seems as though 3 and 4 could be combined, and I'm still not really sure of the purpose of 2. Like in terms of 3 and 4, it could say almost entirely replaced with 4. If the requested records cannot be emailed, I would say if the requested records cannot be emailed to me, please inform me by email the portions
Yeah, yep.
and advise me of the cost.
And I gotta be really honest with you. We get these all different ways. Like,
Okay.
you know, the way that we get these.
What this one says probably doesn't.
That's kind of, yeah. We get them a whole bunch of different ways, and then we just go back to our policy and the regulation, and we say, here's what we can give you, here's what this is, here's the expectation. Like,
Mhm.
this is nice, but
So, yeah.
the other day I got a FOIL request and it was to me. I sent it to Christy. Christy then,
Mhm.
he said, I'm the FOIL officer. I'm in receipt of your request that you sent to the superintendent.
Yep.
And then, it went that way. And the FOIL request I was a 1-line sentence. It was very simple. So,
Yeah.
I want.
Okay, so I think we delete 3. 4 by itself, I think is fine.
Sure.
3 says the same thing as
Yeah.
what's in 4 already. For 2, I think we just add at the beginning, if applicable. Or
Sure.
if you, right?
Sure. Yep. I don't want to reinvent the wheel here, and particularly in light of what you just said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've seen them all different ways.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah, it seems like it's,
all right, I think this is in
also it's just really a template, right?
Yeah.
Right.
good shape, right?
Mhm.
So we're gonna delete the note at the top. Okay. How's that look, Frank?
I think it's good.
Okay.
So,
So this can be final now.
Yeah.
In the drive. You want me to do
I'll
it?
do it.
Okay,
And I already, and I sent it to Jess. So
wait, we didn't go through the,
E1, E2.
E1, E2, so that's E1,
Mhm.
so.
E2 is just the basic responses that could be said.
Yeah, E2 is in the same,
Yeah.
file for
Document.
everybody. Okay, so agency response to request for records, dear applicant for records. Yeah, I mean, this is a template, so it doesn't need to,
And it's in line with our responses, our legal responses that we've given.
not to go backwards too much, but the one that we just final policy 1120 E1 and E2 at the very top of it in the right-hand corner, it only says 1120-E1. Do you want to make sure that it's indicating that it's E1 and E2 combined at this point?
I think they'll get, Jess, I think we'll split them out, right?
Okay.
Yes. Could you just come here?
The same way
Yeah,
she does
she
with
splits
the
them out.
R,
Yeah.
right?
Well, no, on the
Well, the
on the
heading,
agenda, they're together.
Yeah,
one
and,
twenty and 120R.
and the title of this particular document is E1 and E2, but the
Yeah.
document itself only says E1.
Oh, yeah.
Hi.
We're just throwing you in. You want to share with me? Okay. When we give you ones like this that are together, where it says like the
Okay.
120 and then the 120,
They're actually two
they're
separate.
two separate. Can
Right.
you
Separate them out.
separate them out for the
Okay.
I
agenda?
think you do that.
I usually do.
already.
Yeah, but the 120,
Sometimes
120R
they're-
was together because it was together. So
Okay.
we just kept them together.
Yeah, at least for reviewing
Yeah.
But
purposes.
then just,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's all.
Okay.
We're talking about you and then
That's
I'm like,
fine.
she's right there instead of me because I'm going to tell her and then it's going to get all confused.
We have the same
Just
issue
separate
on the
out.
exhibits.
Yeah.
So we're
Right.
gonna end up finalizing the 1120 E1 and E2, but right now it's all in one document.
okay.
So it just needs to be split.
Separate out.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Hold in here.
All bundled up, so I'm gonna,
Sorry.
okay.
That's all.
All right,
Well, I'll
good.
probably
Okay.
call you
Yeah,
back in.
I think
That's
so.
fine, yeah.
I
Give us
just
like
figured-
5 minutes.
Yeah, I just figured it was easier that you were right there. Thanks, Jess.
Okay, all right, so let's finish going through
Perfect.
this.
These are just standard responses.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything in here that's really new.
And it all goes along with the
Granted
regulation.
parking. And I'm sure Christy already has a template
She
for
has
like
all
the
of this.
acknowledgement.
All of it in my council.
Yeah. Okay, anyone have concerns with the E2 draft? Otherwise, I think it's good to go.
No, I'm good.
Okay. So one question just popped up to me in paragraph 11. Would we accept an electronic signature? Where like the records are private but pertain to you, so we can give them to you, but we want your consent acknowledged,
We do electronic signatures.
like a wet signature scanned in, or like if someone used like a
E-doc.
DocuSign,
Yeah, DocuSign.
we would accept
Yeah.
it, right? Okay,
Yeah, we use this all the time.
okay, cool. All right, I think this is good.
Wow.
Good work, people.
Are we abolishing
Yeah.
our E3?
Yeah, let me make a note on that. So we're gonna have the exhibits E1 and E2. I'm just adding this into our agenda doc,
And I'm
E1
going,
and E2,
Yeah.
and we're going to abolish, our E1.
we don't have to abolish our E1 because it supplants it.
Oh, right.
So, but we have an E3, right?
So yes, you're right. So we'll abolish E3.
For the agenda. 20.
Yeah.
E2. Yes. Solution to abolish those. E.3, right?
Yes,
Okay. I'm sending Justin.
perfect. And I added a note into the agenda for what's ready for the December board meeting.
Could you do me a favor, since you have the agenda right on it? Could you share that directly with Jess?
Sure.
Just
Yeah.
hit share and send it to her, so that way she has it for the everything. Now later when I talk to her. we have that. Perfect.
Yeah.
Good.
All right, I think we're ready to move on to the data. See. Okay, I just shared that with Jess.
Perfect.
Okay, good. So that's great news because we will then be able to complete this entire section, which has been on here for quite some time. All right, so let's move on to the 8630 computer resources and data management. So in the policies folder, I believe this is all one
Got it.
document.
We're in the draft.
Yeah, give me one sec. Yeah, it's draft 8630 and reg, computer resources and data management.
Yes.
So,
All right. I see you're all already here.
I know that's, when I see it, I'm like, yes.
I'm in the right
Got it
one.
right now.
I didn't even notice that I showed you that until you just pointed that out.
That's how I know I'm on the wrong one, when I see you guys talking and I'm not there.
I'm new to Google Docs. Okay. All right, so let's just go through it. Okay. There's some new language in here, dealing with district audits by the comptroller's office. This is a long one, so are we comfortable just addressing comments, or do we need to read through the whole thing? I'll defer to others on how you want to approach it.
We just updated this recently, didn't we?
I don't believe
No,
so. So
No, we didn't.
80s, no, I don't think we did.
Somebody who has a better memory than me, remind me, why do we have the highlighted? Frank, was that you highlighting it because that was new language?
No, I think that's,
Matt or
Some of it's me,
Tricia.
some of it's Trish.
Yeah, so Tricia would highlight new language. I think, Matt, you were doing the
Yeah.
same thing.
Okay.
To me, I don't know that it was necessarily new, just maybe just questions for me.
All right, that makes sense.
Because I
mean, the highlight does go with your comments on the sides of it.
don't honestly don't know that there's really. So along policy, I don't think that the NISBA changes are all that extensive.
they're
are
really
they?
not.
No, they're really not. And our for the record, our Voorheesville policy was adopted back in 2013.
Yeah, I just looked at that.
Yeah,
I get confused. We did the computer safety ones and the computer,
yes.
all,
And
we did
computer
all
use
those.
and instruction.
There were like 5 of
Yes.
them that we did, and we
Yes.
changed a whole, like, so it all
Yeah,
kind of blends together. So that's
Yep.
where I was getting confused.
yeah, this was one that kind of lingered.
Yeah.
And the NISBA update is pretty old. So
Yeah.
we'll probably get a new NISBA update at some point. But yeah, Matt, you had questions more about like who's doing
Just so
what
I
and-
understand, yeah, who is the computer network coordinator?
We use CTS, which is BOCES. It's a NERD.
Okay.
So we have multiple computer networks. We have our own IT people, but CTS or BOCES, we have William Murphy, we have a network coordinator, we have all these, we have like a team of people that do all this work for us and help support us. We also have our TOSA, who does the instructional skills. We have Mimecast, which is a district safety tool that we utilize that does videos training for school safety for staff. They're like 2-minute long little videos. They're kind of funny, but they're meant to like help train district security. Because I mean, internet safety is one of the biggest issues for businesses. So, we do a whole bunch of different ones.
So,
A CTS helps in the IT department.
so we do have an IT department, or do you want to say like information technology staff?
Well, we have the CTS is our IT department. We consider them IT.
Okay. All right, and then multi-year technology plan?
Yep.
We have that. Okay, so I think this language is all good to go. I can remove the highlight unless it's.
Yeah.
Now, so here's the one question. our tech plan is the one that is from the state. That's the one that I'm saying that we utilize and submit each year. That's the multi-year technology plan.
Mhm.
It goes to the board approval and we also submit to the state. That's the one I think they're talking about.
This is the one we're saying is due in 2025, the 3-year.
They extended it actually. It's
Oh.
2026.
Okay.
Yeah, so that every 3 years, they
Just resolving those.
Yeah, good.
Yes, get it out of there.
yeah, it was due at the end of this year, but actually now it's due at the end of next year.
Okay.
And our tech team looks in that.
Okay. The IT with the periods is just bugging me.
Go
Can
ahead.
I just
yeah.
write information technology?
Yeah, whatever you like.
Okay. Matt, where did you want to add parentheses? Oh, you resolved it. Okay,
Yeah.
so that should follow. Okay. All right, so let's scroll down.
Oh, I actually did put in under general provisions.
Yep.
Third paragraph, superintendent working with computer network coordinator. I added cell phones.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, can we just clarify? I'm just putting on my union app, right? Just to clarify, a union member might say to me, you're not talking personal cell phones, correct? You're talking district issued cell phones,
Right. Yeah.
right? So I think, can we just to help
And
eliminate.
I remember when I typed that, I went back and cross-referenced the policy that says there are district
Yeah.
cell phones.
Yeah, can we just write district issued? I think that way people will just.
Right.
It might,
No.
it will
just
stop
makes
that
it
kind of
clearer.
feeling of Big Brother watching.
Sure.
Well, here's the question though. If you're using the district's Wi-Fi connection for your
Mhm.
cell phone,
She makes a valid point.
Oh, that's.
So that is.
You
you,
Well, no, that's a good point.
The district Wi-Fi is already limited on what you. With it.
I don't think
Well, I
it,
mean, you're gonna have
the
your,
filter doesn't sit.
your child, your federally declared filters.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of space.
Yeah, but I don't
between-
manage staff cell phones.
You don't, but you manage your network.
The
If
network.
someone is using your network and that information, like whatever it happens to be,
Yeah. I don't know.
you,
Yeah, see, geez.
But would you have to prove that? I mean,
Use.
you were using the network at the time. So,
Well, all it says is we shall establish regulations. Don't we already have?
But it's saying the district, well, hold on. I think we're overthinking this.
yeah.
Because we're not
No,
talking
we are-
network,
we are in a
We're not talking
We're talking
internet here. We're
computer
talking computer resources and it's already the districts. So I don't think you need to change anything
Right.
because it's already there. We're
Because-
only talking about the district resources, not the internet. That's a
Right.
different
And what
policy,
you raised,
which I think is already. in.
RG is
Yeah.
already in there,
Yeah.
either
I
in this, in
Yeah.
terms of, you have to be aware that you're
Yeah,
all.
we started to go down a rabbit hole that we
Yep.
didn't need
Right.
Yep.
Okay.
Good call.
to. You know, I was like,
no, I think it's fine as is.
yeah, because I think what you're mentioning is already addressed in other policies.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's my bad.
All right. So,
Man, I just resolved your adding the O and the
Okay.
quotations.
all right, I'm gonna delete the note at the top because I think then our headings work. Okay. No, it made it worse. Either way, Jess will fix it. Thank you, Jess. Okay, privilege is a right, I know, use is a privilege and a right. We've used that language elsewhere. Okay, management of computer records.
We are using the cloud.
Yes.
Oop.
Okay,
I'm gonna delete that whole.
yes, yep. Okay, so, we can delete the note too, I think. Well, I'll wait until we get through it. So the sixth, seventh, and eighth bullets below address protection of district computer resources and information, including disposal of district computer resources and equipment inventory.
Mhm.
So I think that has to do with like, yeah, it's backup.
Yeah, we do all this stuff.
Yep.
I've been in multiple meetings regarding these things.
Yep, I'm good with all of this. Okay, I think, anybody have questions or concerns? All right, I think we're up to review and dissemination.
Do we keep the old note up on top that's
No,
highlighted? or-
I'll delete it
Okay.
now, yeah. I was waiting until we got through the section, but yeah, it can go. Okay, review and dissemination. I agree with your edit, Matt, to delete that bracket.
Yeah, it's like a hanging bracket.
Yeah. Okay, okay, review and dissemination. Since computer technology is a rapidly changing area, it's important this policy be reviewed periodically. Regulation governing appropriate computer use will be distributed annually to staff and students and will be included in both employee and student handbooks. I think it is.
I am,
Yeah,
well, they've done a very nice job this year, the principals, of getting more communication to the employees through their buildings. So I am, as we're talking, I'm just gonna make sure that this policy is sent to them and telling them just to add a link to it. When we're doing any of these that need to go to employees as we go, I'm just saying, hey, add a link to your handbook.
Yep,
Add a link to
make
your
sure it's
handbook.
in there.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, that makes sense.
Okay, perfect. Okay. All right, so that covers the policy 8630. Let's see if we can finish the reg in the time we have left. I think we can do it. Okay. So this reg includes language to address audits by the comptroller regarding security of district information, the same as in the updated policy. Okay. Looks like we have a weird bracket again, but other than that.
Do these the titles always stay the same, like computer network coordinator, technology support specialist?
Yeah, because one of them is subservice.
Okay.
And then the other one is, it's just a computer network person. I mean, we change like, sometimes like it changes, but it's the same
Mhm.
idea of who the person is.
Okay.
Again, with the CTS group that we utilize from BOCES, it's like 5 people that help oversee our district networks and combinations.
So I just want to check the cross references in the policy. There's a 4526.1. I just want to make sure we have that one. We do. Okay, good. Okay.
Yeah, what is your?
So computer use and instruction, I know we updated recently. And then let's see when that one was done. That one was revised November of 22. And then the internet safety was also November of 22. Okay, I didn't remember that we did those together, but that makes sense. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, I went to the Children's Internet Protection Act as you guys are talking, just because you asked if, do we have the filter that does this? And I want to confirm that. Yeah, we have
Okay.
tons. We have so many things that
Yeah,
we have the filter that does it. We have the ability to look at all open source searches. We have, when, if you look at our other thing, we have everything that we're supposed to have to be able to monitor too. Because that was a question that came up, is like, oh, you're monitoring the students, use of the internet. Well, no, it's our internet and there's laws that guide us by the way that we have to do it.
And in fact, require. us
And
to-
require us to monitor, like heavily monitor it actually.
Right.
So we have all those things put in place. And that was another component of going to NARIC and CTS is that, they do this for
They do all that stuff.
all the districts is
Right.
through, New York State. So, that's why we did it.
Yeah.
Because we knew that we would be getting exactly what we need.
Okay. All right, so I think we're on internet access, the second
Mm-hmm.
section. I think you're right, Matt, we can't say daily.
Yeah,
Maybe
we
we
can't
should
say
say during working hours.
Yeah, and I stress with staff a lot, like turn your email off at night, don't respond. Like people do, and I understand that it's a good thing. I do it too, but it's your expectation is your hours. That's when you check your email.
And of course, it makes sense that, you're gonna get an email in the evening.
Right.
That's when they're free, but it doesn't mean that you have to. respond.
Exactly.
Of course. I like that addition.
Okay, so everyone's good with during working hours?
Yeah,
Mhm,
absolutely.
yeah.
Okay, good. All right, I agree with your may instead of will. It's may in other parts of this reg, so
Yeah.
makes sense.
Mhm.
Yeah, that is a good addition.
That's the lawyers in it.
Yeah, those kind of
Well,
things.
and
just, like, jump
only
out.
recently, and I saw it's sept its way into the NISBA is that now apparently shall is frowned upon.
Yes,
And
Yeah.
for reasons I still don't completely
Yeah, May, will,
understand.
and shall.
But I
are
don't
all
mean.
those. When I became a superintendent, that was one lesson I learned is that may and will are two very important words.
Mhm.
Yep, I did not know that until that point.
Right. Well, it's like I said, it's the shall and the will that confuse me.
Yeah.
Now apparently that there's a meaningful distinction between the two.
Huh.
But
Really?
yeah,
Hmm.
Shall is a little bit more.
I like I was just saying, I haven't
obligation.
even used the brain cells to figure out if they're saying the better practice is will now,
yes,
then I'll do it.
for clarity.
We
Not-
are,
not substantive, like meaning change.
Yeah.
The password must be changed periodically. We are working on that. We do go through it and have those conversations. That goes again through NARIC.
So a question I had was, do we do anything to, like sensitize people to phishing attempts?
Yes. So that again is that Mimecast training that we
It's those
have.
little training videos.
Well, and again, I think the question is like, are they mandatory? Yeah, we want you to do them. I'm not gonna like write you up if you don't do these trainings, but if you get caught with doing a phishing scam and you get, and you do something really bad and you've had multiple opportunities to learn about it, then that's not a good thing, right? Like,
Right.
so we do these, the Mimecast trainings are great because they talk about phishing, they talk about safety, security, they do all these other things, but then we have one scheduled at some point. We usually try to do 2 a year where we actually do phishing scams. And last year we did low level phishing scams. This year we're going to do moderate level. And I don't even know, right? Like, so
Yeah,
I tell the people who do it, I go, don't let me know. And then when I get the report, I go, please God, tell me I didn't mess up.
so,
You
so
had seen your
my,
own name. and
Right? I was nervous. I was like, not this time.
so my firm does 2 a month.
Yeah.
Of
2 a
like,
month.
to try and trick you. And I actually fell for one last night, and like, usually I'm so good. And,
Sometimes they're hard.
and that one, I was just like, damn, like,
Yeah.
I'm ashamed of myself.
To our staff's credit, I'm getting a lot more emails saying, is this real
Oh, yeah.
now? Which,
It's always my default.
is this real? And like, nope, that is, or no, thank you very much. But we're getting a lot more of those than we ever have, which is great.
That's great.
Okay, so I put in this note about email, but do we want, like, I was thinking, do we need to say something about like links in email?
Doesn't hurt. I think
Yeah,
it's
it
actually
doesn't,
good.
yeah.
Email or links in email?
Google Docs or.
I mean, one of the like alerts that we got recently was, about QR codes.
Oh, yeah.
like the QR codes now, like, can be used to embed like malware,
Mhm.
which I didn't realize.
It's crazy.
Okay. All right, so we got that in there. So now moving on to page, whatever page we're on, 6. Okay, so Matt, you raised identifying a security problem
Can we say suspected security problem?
or concern.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Are you good with concern?
yeah.
Mhm.
Because you're right. I mean, they're not gonna. It's that see something, say something mentality, right? Like
Yeah.
that's what we're looking for. If you think it's not right, let us know.
Um,
Or if you see something that's really bad.
just like spacing on this is really bugging me.
Mhm.
Anyone care if I try and fix it?
no,
Well, that's weird.
It's like after the first line,
Word does the same thing. It adds the extra line after a paragraph or something, and it drives me crazy.
wanna
Yes. Rebel.
try this and see what it
It's
does.
like 1.5 spacing instead of 1 after the
But
first.
yeah, but after the first line, it
Just,
only- it didn't fix it. Let's see if I can change it to like format the bullets. Oh, it doesn't give me an option. Can I make a note to Jess?
Yep.
Seriously.
Wastefully using finite district resources.
Wait, where was that one?
That's the
That's
one
nice.
that Matt wrote. This is vague. I was like, a lot of these make a lot of sense, but
Okay, so we're
Oh.
now on,
Page 7?
page 7.
Yeah.
yeah,
right?
sorry, that was funny.
I'm
No,
like,
that's
wait.
good.
It's like, what
Where did we go?
speed?
I just was reading as you were going.
Yeah,
Okay. So we're into prohibited activity and uses. Right? Or are we past that? You guys got ahead?
No, I'm there. That's what I was reading.
Okay.
Yeah, I have no idea what that means. That's like a catch-all. Wastefully using infinite finite district resources.
Yeah. That is like we can't find anything else
Right. So this is the
to
only
say
way
you
to
did. So,
Doesn't
yeah,
do that.
I don't think you need that.
Yeah. I'm fine.
We deleted it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I'm just gonna delete it.
Yeah, I have no problem with that. Do you guys?
Yeah, no, it
It makes
If you
sense. The other
can't-
ones
if
are
you
very
can't-
clear.
if you
Right.
can't fit it into one of the other ones, you should.
Right. There's like
Right.
20 other ones. I think
Whether
you're
it's a
good.
problem. Okay. All right, no privacy guarantee. We've got that language elsewhere. I
Yeah.
think it's good. Sanctions. Yeah.
Yeah.
District responsibilities. I'm just gonna fix this like hanging paragraph here. belongs up here, so it all stays together. Okay, and then the last paragraph has language about, disposal. Yeah, I think we're already doing this.
Mhm.
And it seems like this is also discussed earlier.
Yeah, it's really the language in the last couple sentences that's new.
And where exactly are we?
The last page, 10 of 10, the last paragraph.
Sample regulation.
Bless you. I deleted the note, but the note said that they had added language about, disposal.
Oh, okay.
I think this is,
Yeah.
good to go.
Is this is a revision, right?
This is a revision.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so this will be, I'm gonna add a note that this is ready for the December meeting.
I'm asking Jess to separate them for the meeting. And
Bless you.
Very neat.
it is a revision.
Okay, all right. Good work.
Wow.
Okay, so next up, and let's see if we can get through it, is the student board member
Yeah,
policy 2245. Okay, so,
you guys. go to that.
2245? Oh,
yeah,
H, right? We're
2245.
at H.
Yeah, I jumped,
Okay,
this
no,
one
that's
is one that I think is fairly, at least we can get through like the items to consider, right, Frank? Cause you had added this note in,
Yeah,
um,
I'm actually at the legal document that I've added. Where it just says
oh,
what
this
has,
is old. I'm
Yeah, it's
sorry.
old. Yeah,
This
yeah.
is old.
so go to our policy, the things that changed. To be eligible to serve as a student member, the student must have attended high school for at least 1 year. And then, there's a listing of things, it's however we choose it. It's again, the same way that we already do it. But, the difference is that it can be, we have it down as a senior
Yes,
and it can be a student.
right.
And we state 1 year term. And the regulation doesn't state anything about terms. So I think 1 year is good because you still give students opportunity, right? And I think that's the idea behind this, is to give varied. So my recommendation is still keep it as one.
Yep.
But I don't think we can limit it to a senior only any longer.
I agree. Yeah.
That's the big change.
Okay, so, oh crap, I just closed the policy.
Is this the final VCSD 2245?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have criteria in it about what groups they can be a part of. Again, I don't know if the regulation says that.
Where it's
So-
highlighted, you mean, about district-wide advisory committee, National Honor Society, Key Club?
So this is the one thing that I don't have the answer to. I don't know if you as a school board can put criteria on the type of student any longer.
So I think you can. So I'm looking at the Gervin
Yeah. That's what I'm
and
looking for.
Ferlazzo memo. So to be eligible to serve as a student member, student must have attended the high school for at least 1 year
Oh,
and be a student selected by majority vote of the board.
one of those, right?
So,
Elected as a
Yeah.
student president of the high school, elected by the student body, student selected by the high school principal, student selected by the superintendent of schools, or a student selected by the majority of the board. So we do it by principal and then superintendent.
Is that our recording? or
Yeah, that's
something
me.
else?
So I think you can still keep it that they have to be a member of a civic group.
Mhm.
Because that's what ours is. Basically, this says that you have to be a member of some type of civic minded group already.
So.
So are we looking to expand our list of district-wide advisory committee, National Honor Society, or Key Club, and then, and or like another civic-minded group? Like,
I
you
just
wanna
wasn't
say it
sure if you had,
broadly.
So here, let me create a draft.
want to just use the final as a draft. We just do that.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
There, I'll just draft it out.
Okay, so so in the section that we need to,
Yeah, it's awesome.
it's all, we need like paragraph breaks.
It's
Okay,
first line under qualifications and.
yeah, yeah, so must be a senior, should be student
Yeah.
at the high school and should have attended such high school for at least, this law says 1 year.
That's correct.
So we need to change that to 1. Prior to selection, selection process will take place at the end of the school year preceding the next term. That's all good.
Can you put a period at the end of the
Yeah.
thing?
Yeah. Oh, wait,
At the very end, the
yeah.
building principal.
I thought that's where my cursor was and okay, good. So, I mean, I guess we should probably talk about whether we think these limiting or qualifications are what we want. Student government is in the law. District-wise advisory committee, honor society, key club are not.
Here comes my thought. If we're talking about equity and getting student voice, there are students that do not adhere to those groups or are a part of those groups that still are civic minded, that still have voice, that still have ability to
Oh,
add.
absolutely.
So I think we should get rid of it.
Well, that's where I'm thinking is we cut and paste.
They have to, it has to be a student in good standing. I think that's the number one, right? Like, they have to be an academic and disciplinary good standing.
And quite frankly, I think there's at least a reasonable argument to be made that, I mean, I don't have the text of the statute in front of me, but it seems as though that the legislature has said these are this is the universe of possible criteria, and I get it may be an open question as to whether or not a school board can tighten that bar.
Right, that's my question.
And do we want to be a subject to that challenge, number one? And number two, are the positions that are in there currently equitable?
Well, I think about my son who graduated, right? He went to CTE program.
Huh?
You know, he welded. He was not part of any of those groups. He's very civic minded, though. He's got an opinion, you know, like he's 20 years old,
Yeah.
almost 20 years old. And like, I hear his opinions. I'm like, oh, wow, you could be, you can go into politics. I joke with him, like, but given that opportunity, if he wanted to, this policy wouldn't allow
It would not allow for him.
I-
Right. And there's kids, I think there's other kids like that.
So
I'm
can we-
partial to cutting and pasting from the Gervin and Ferlazzo memo that includes a student duly elected as president of the high school, elected by the student body, selected by high school student government, selected by the high school
So
principal,
we have a selection process already.
selected by, but this is who qualifies. Selected by superintendent or selected by majority of the school board, and it's or.
Yeah, it could, so you could be
So
any.
you could be, and this is eligibility to serve,
Oh,
not selection
all right,
process.
so we just switched, okay.
So almost like a nomination, right? Like, I mean, it basically says anybody.
And
Like-
that-
Well, I think
you're
that's what
saying
we
that
just write.
the-
I think instead of just saying anything, we just, I literally write a student in good standing.
But it would, but Matt, were you saying a student in good standing, is that going above and beyond?
No,
No, that's still within,
because a student in good standing means you just can't be failing like
right,
4
think
classes.
so.
yeah, or on like academic.
Yeah,
not
or, be
academic,
currently suspended.
suspended this way then.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
like-
and
I
then
like
that just gives you, you take everything else out, you put that, and then we keep the criteria in of how we do it. I think that opens up way.
Student in good standing with the district, in the district. Do we need to say that? Just a student in good standing?
Yeah, student in good standing. Academic and disciplinary. good standing.
Is there any other type of good standing?
Those are the two.
What's that?
And it definitely opens it way up.
Okay, I'm good with that.
There's another one.
Where?
Well, it just said this is another one to go to Jess.
Oh, I'm like, wait, where? I don't see anything else.
Okay. Um,
And can I ask a question about the 2-year interval? Is that in like the,
oh no, you're right. It needs to come out.
Yeah, where's that one?
that's at the, like towards the very end, right above like adoption date. It's like the
Yeah.
last paragraph.
Yeah, it needs to come out. It's not
Oh, yeah, it's
consistent
not
with the law
consistent.
anymore.
Good call.
Yeah, good catch.
I mean, the other thing is, quite frankly, I mean, the establishment, as submitted by the board and approved by district voters, I think technically it could come out. It's historical, so I think it could stay or it could come out. I guess it's up to us.
Where is that?
Go back up to the top after the 5 paragraphs, establishment of position.
Okay.
I mean, I guess that could be changed to consistent with the education law, whatever it's been codified as.
Part of me though wants to,
Show that we did it
Yeah.
before. I mean, historically, that's why, I suppose you could say as submitted, and now required by.
And,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, but it shows that our community supported it prior to.
Right.
the regulation.
Right. But yeah, totally, that last section, which dealt prospectively, is,
I just don't know what, so we've got the Senate bill in here. I'm just not sure what section of the law it's in.
It's referencing.
for what's the bill number? I can look it up.
S. S9018A.
Of course, my keyboard isn't working. S what?
9018A.
So interestingly, the law is not effective until July 1, 2025. So it's not yet effective.
So we ought to revisit this after. Or put it back up for.
I say we do it now because that way we extend our pool of candidates this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
Instead of
that's-
waiting
that's a-
till next
that's a
year.
good point. But do we need to note that we have to update our, that language of establishment, like? Just have to go back
Ed
on
Law
our-
1702.
Okay, so I think we just do it now.
Mhm.
So as submitted by the board and approved by district voters on May 17, 2022, and consistent with education, law. I don't know the symbol for section in Google Docs.
Right.
Let me see where we get to symbols.
Maybe you could just write out.
Insert.
I'm also going to add that.
Symbol. Looking for it, I found where it should be. I don't see it.
I'm also going to add up at the top that it's required,
Oh, yeah, that's.
right?
Yeah.
I can actually format it correctly.
So maybe I can copy it from somewhere else. I found it. Section, what was it, Matt?
1702.
1702. How's that?
Yeah.
All right, and then we need to add
Yep.
this cross-reference in.
At the bottom, right?
Yeah.
Oh, 1702, is it 3, that one? 3 and 3A? Looks like it's,
Yeah, yes, sub 3.
Oh, okay, so it's already in there. Good, okay.
Yeah, that was actually I mean, it's, the cross-reference is still there because that was the law that allowed
That
it,
allowed
that
it.
required it
Yeah,
to go
yeah.
to
understood.
voters.
Okay, good.
We're still highlighted also in that paragraph about the high school principal publicize the opening of the position and oversee blah, blah, blah. blah.
Yeah. I can clean that up. How's that look? I think at
Yeah.
least now it's consistent with what the law will
Yeah.
require.
Mhm.
Okay. I think this is ready for revision.
Mhm.
Everybody good with it?
Yeah, absolutely.
2, 4, 5.
I also just shared it with the high school principal since she's new this year. I don't know if we went over it yet.
Okay, good. All right, I've got another call in 4 minutes, so
We're good?
I think we are good.
All right. All right.
Okay, good work, everybody.
Good work. Can I stop recording?